Hey there, folks. It's your boy Charles Barkley, and today we got Backdraft. Doing a deck profile for our boy, the firefighting hero. He's a 6-hand, 27 health, good order water symbol. This deck profile will be focusing on the water symbol. Then he is also Enhance Commit 1 Foundation. This attack gets -2 speed. If it's a fire attack, it gets an additional -1 speed. So either -2 or -3 speed. Basically, a Rescue Completed. Rescue Completed is a wonderful defensive card and one of the key pieces of the Water Wall defensive strategy. The fact that you can do it on face, so you don't even need to play the 3-diff foundation, is wonderful. Then we have Enhance Your Turn. Discard 3 cards from your rival's card pool. Your attack gets +5 speed, +5 damage. So effectively 2 speed, 5 damage. A huge buff that can really sink a game home when you're already about to win. You set up the big clog, and there you go. You slammed home a big boy attack. Very cool. Well, let's take a look at what we're trying to do today on the water symbol. First up, 4 copies of his own attack, a common from Heroes Clash, Water Pump. It is a 4-diff +1 mid-block with a 3 high for 4 damage. It's charge EX2 ranged, and then it's Enhance. If this attack deals damage, your rival commits 1 foundation for each card in their card pool. So if you play this as your second attack, third attack, if they've blocked anything, and they take this, they're going to commit 2-3 foundations. So it's kind of an iffy thing. You're probably going to have to block it at some points just to avoid things. At that point, you're blocking a pretty measly attack that's basically there for the other Enhance. Backdraft Enhance. So you're actually playing Backdraft to use this. Add the top card of your rival's deck to their card pool. Which, that is our key thing here. We're just trying to clog their card pool up with things so we can use the Backdraft +5/+5. Very good. Then, next up, we've got 4X Tape Stream Jab out of Crimson Rampage, a common. It's a 4-diff with a +2 mid-block, 3 mid for 4, punch ranged. Enhance, your rival adds top card of their discard pile to the card pool. So this time it's discard pile, not deck. But also, Enhance, if this card has, or if a card has left your rival's card pool this combat phase, you can change the zone to this attack. Relevant if they're playing anti-clogging, or if you already used the Backdraft at +5/+5, oddly enough. But mostly that's here just to clog card pool. Then, next up, a Quirk Pack card from the base set, Amphibious Ambush. Running 4 copies of this. It's a 5-diff with a +2 low block, 3 high for 5. Range, combo ranged. The combo enhances your rival adds 1 face-up foundation from their stage to the card pool, then builds the top card of their deck face down. Sure, this might ready a foundation, but it clogs card pool and effectively flips down one of their face-ups. Enhance, add 1 other ranged attack from your card pool to your momentum. So you can play this, then clear card pool with it out of your own so that you can set up longer strings. Get some momentum put out there. Really just to power the EX on a water pump, I believe. But it's mostly there to clear card pool and set up a bigger turn. And next up, we have one of our big winners, Tongue Whip, out of the first DLC for the game. It is a 4-diff, 2 low block, 4 low for 4 with the ranged keyword. Enhance, this attack gets +1 damage for each card in your rival's card pool. Disgusting with how much weak log pools you can use this as one of your finishers, just because you can routinely get this to 8-9 damage, considering that the other enhances add the top card of your rival's deck to their card pool. So that's yet one more card in there. And that alone can be enough to get you to the Backdraft threshold, and then hit them with that 5-5, making this a 9-9 before you added on how many other cards they had in card pool. So at least a 9-12. Very, very good at killing people. Then our final attack for the lineup, Cannon Blast, out of DLC 2. It's a 5 diff with a 2 mid, 4 high for 5, charge ranged weapon. But it's also got commit 1 foundation. This attack gets +1 speed, +2 damage, and commit 2 foundations. This attack gets +2 speed, +4 damage. So you can commit to 3 foundations, make this a 7-11. If you can manage to set up the Backdraft bonus, that makes this a 12-19. Sorry, 12-16. And 12-16, that's going to end you some games right there too. So that's the idea. Using Tongue Whip and Cannon Blast as finishes, and the rest is set up to get there. All in all, nice little ranged package. I felt like originally it was going to be underwhelming, but actually playing it in action, the pokes are small enough that people will let them chip away, and the other ones are big enough that they'll end games for you. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the attack lineup. Then we are running 1 action. 4 copies of the Heroes Clash Rare Recovery Time. It's a 2 diff action with a +1 mid block. It's a breaker 1, but it has 2 things that are interesting here. Response, remove. After you take 5 or more damage, gain 4 health. So you can effectively mitigate most of a big attack from an opponent. And then also, response. After this card leaves your hand due to your rival's effect, draw 2 cards. Someone's playing discard against you once, you can just toss this and get 2 cards back, keeping you in the game. All of a sudden, Villainous Waylay makes you discard a mid, isn't so bad. Foundation-wise, we ran some stuff to try and basically keep our defenses up and, add a bit to our offense if we could. So first up on the 3 diff foundations, we're running 2 copies of Constantly Improving. It's a 3 difficulty foundation with a 4 high block. It's first enhance, commit 1 foundation. So commit this and another foundation. Your attack gets +X speed. X equals your attack's printed speed. So you can double these 3s and 4s to 6s and 8s, which that alone can really, really spike a attack home or make them way over commit to block 1. It's a nice little trick to get things through when you need them through, especially if you're going to set up a kill. That Tongue Whip's coming in for 12, sets it to 8 speed before you use the Backdraft ability. The couple times it was very, very handy. All in all, this uncommon from Heroes Clash I think is worth playing around with. Then, we've got 2 copies of the base set from Rare Staple Rescue Completed. It's a 3 diff, 2 low foundation with Enhance to Destroy, ready to face down foundations that have not been ready at this combat phase, and Enhance Commit 1 foundation. This attack gets +1 or -2 speed. So you can do the same thing as Backdraft or add 1 on offense. But the speed manipulation is, with this, having one of these out and Backdraft, basically means you can commit 2 foundations to make any attack blockable. Very, very good at ending long strings, making sure you can take the early poke and block the late poke. Much found these useful. Then, 2 copies of Sticky Balls. Base set rare, It's a 3 diff with a +2 mid. It's unique, so you can only have one out. If you build a second, you have to destroy one of them on build. Enhance, flip, add the top card of your rival's discard pile to their card pool. So just one more way to clog card pool. And enhance, commit. This non-ranged attack gets -4 speed. If they're not playing ranged, that alone is basically enough to eat one more attack. It's a great dissuader, a great tool, and a great way to clog up card pool. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Then, for our 2 diffs, we are running 4 copies of the DLC 1 Foundation First Villain Encounter. We're running this for 2 reasons. One, it's enhance. Commit, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage, and your next ranged attack this turn gets -1 difficulty. Speed, damage, and difficulty minusing. That's a lot of value out of 1 foundation commit. But also, deadlock enhance. Flip. Your rival adds 2 foundations from their stage to their card pool. If they go into deadlock against you, you are going to be triggering Backdraft if you have these out. Because you can just... Having 1 is out is 2 card full clogs. Makes all their blocks super hard. And then you're always at risk of death of +5/+5ing. This is nasty. Nasty for Backdraft. Then I've got 2 copies of the uncommon from base set, Self-Assured. It's a 2 diff, 3 high with a 4 check. It's unique, so you can only have 1 out. Enhance, commit, change the zone of their attack. Very useful when you're trying to stay alive, especially because you can make anything blockable. And then enhance, destroy. Draw 1 card for every 4 ranged attacks in your discard pile. Once you're sitting there at, 8, 12 attacks in discard, the draw 2, draw 3, that can really change how long your turns can go. Get you 2, 3 extra cards, or get you 3 extra cards on block. Very, very good. Really helps in a pinch. Then we've got 3 copies of the rare from Crimson Rampage, Faith's Shield. This beautiful Omni block is a 2 diff with a 3 mid with a 4 check control. That is response, remove. After you block with this card, the attack deals no damage. Flip this attack after it resolves. Destroys combo, really screws Ojiro 2 over. Just a way to disrupt a lot of decks that need their cards face up. Just very, very good on defense, and because you have the ability to always commit for speed, the ability to make this block playable in situations that normally wouldn't look like it. It has the also vaguely relevant on occasion, enhance destroy. This charge or stun attack gets -2 damage, but really you should be holding these to block whatever horrifying thing they have coming. Then we've got 3 copies of this uncommon from base set, Creepy Realization. It's a 2 diff, 3 mid block with a 4 check. But enhance, commit. This attack gets +1 or -1 damage for each card in your rival's card pool. Really, really softens the blow of attacks in long strings, and also, especially long strings like Tokoyami. Sure, he might have 6 cards in his card pool, but you can go, alright, -6 damage. That attack at the end isn't looking so spicy anymore. But also, you're filling their card pool, so you can slam home this before you trigger the Backdraft fire hose and get 3, 4, 5 extra damage on an attack, guaranteeing that you seal the game. Having 1 or 2 of these ready is a nasty threat. Then, we got 2 copies of Cheerleader from Heroes Clash as a rare. It's a 2 diff, 3 mid, that is response, remove, discard 1 momentum. After an attack is played, it gains flash. Flash out anything with those horrifying enhances. Don't want to deal with a staff strike, don't want to deal with the back alley haymaker, don't want to deal with the recipro burst. Fine. It's just a flash now. let's let it go on. Then we've got one copy of Frozen. It's a 2-diff with a 2-high block from the common from the base set. It is enhance your turn, destroy 1 foundation. Your rival commits 1 foundation. For when you really need to go all out and they look like they have a lot of blocks, you can blow up a foundation, help get yourself some new ones built if you're getting flipped down, without having to stay in deadlock, and gets you to let them soften their board up. Then, for 1-diffs, we've got 3 copies of this beautiful, beautiful common from Crimson Rampage, Ice Gliding. It is a 1-diff with a +3 mid block. Enhance commit. This attack gets +1 or -2 speed. If it's blocked, the next attack gets +1 or -1 speed. It's like your character card, but you get to add 1 to the next if you actually block. This is a great way to chain through your blocks and just make it so that their entire turn feels very oppressed. Great card. It's good spam. Love to see it. And then one of our most relevant defensive pieces, Struggling with Studies. 3 copies of this uncommon from Crimson Rampage. It's a 1-diff with a +3 low block. With Enhance, flip. If this is your rival's 3rd or greater attack this combat phase, add 1 card from your card pool to your hand. So you get to pick up a block, so you get to clear your card pool, add another card back to your hand to block with. It just makes it so that you can sit there and keep stringing out defensive cards on their long strings. This is how you stay alive. It's a great defensive tool. Also, response before one of your foundations would be flipped due to rival's effect. Flip this foundation instead. Sometimes relevant. Sometimes maybe you don't want that sticky balls flipped down. Then one of our all-stars, Gotcha. This common from the base set is a is a 0-diff +2 low block with response. After this card is committed during this enhanced step, the attack gets +1 or -1 speed, playable while committed. So you can commit these to Backdraft or Rescue Completed and give it another speed down. So that's 3 or 4 speed down off Backdraft to anything, just by committing your gotchas to that or Rescue Completed. Very great value. Just great way to make sure that you stay alive. And it's a 0-diff foundation for that. Speaking of 0-diffs, we're running 4 copies of Basic Training. It's a 0-2 mid, common from Heroes Clash. It's got response. Once per turn, after you play an attack, it gets +1 damage. Just a nice way to add a little spice to your kind of unspicy attacks. And then Deadlock response. After attack is played, it gets +1 speed. Playable while committed. This is another reason for them to avoid going to Deadlock. They're not going to generally respect it, but it can add a lot of speed to a lot of attacks if you have a couple of these out. Just a great way to make sure you can actually close out games. And then finally, for our foundations, 4 copies of Surviving the Final. It's a 0-diff, 3 high, common from Crimson Rampage. With Enhance, once per turn, this attack gets -1 speed. So you can give it -1 speed from that, and then commit 1 to Backdraft to give it another -2. That's a great way to just add a lot of speed hate off of 1 spam foundation. Just another good way to make sure you can play enough foundations early game and get you to the point you need to be. Very good defense, so you can get them clogged and kill them. So that's the overall, all the cards in the main deck. Then, if you happen to have a long defensive slog battle and you want to try and close things out, I've got a sideboard option for you. You can switch over to Asui 1. That's what I've done. She is a 7-hander with 20 health on water, yet again. And Enhance commit, your attack gets +2 speed. You may discard a kick or ranged attack from your card pool. And enhance, flip 1 foundation. Ready this card, playable while committed. Flipping to Asui after you playing that horrifying defensive deck into straight up trying to shotgun your mediocre attacks at them is a great way to throw somebody off balance and try and get that game if you have less than 10 minutes left in a round. To facilitate this, the sideboard has 4 copies of Tongue Smack. Tongue Smack is another fortif. It's a range attack, so it still fits that theme. I would generally replace Water Pump and then just use this as a way to cantrip into more cards and just try to control the game's tempo, kill them real quick. Because this will end up generally being a 6 high for 6. Good value. My other sideboard options include 3 Wall Clings. Don't have enough Omni blocks, don't have enough ways to keep yourself alive, are there zones giving you trouble? Throws, any of those, Wall Cling's the answer. Throw it in, take something out, probably something like your Constantly Improvings if you don't think you need the offensive punch. Just another way to keep yourself alive. And on that subject, they have pesky foundations you're struggling with. Irrefutable Force of Nature. You can seal a earth, fire, or water foundation on a commit or anything on remove. Just another option in your tool bag if you run into stuff you're having problems with. So that's everything, folks. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up. I know a lot of people aren't talking much about Backdraft, but after having given him an actual shot, played him in some locals and some other casual games, I think he's actually a pretty solid pick and definitely able to close out games much better than I thought he could. Cannon Blast and Tongue Whip are hell of a cards. Thank you very much, folks. Have a great night.